morning. Are you Braxton Hughes? And this is 25 DCCR 1124. Mr. Hughes was previously in court, entered a plea of guilty to burglary of a habitation. The agreement was for a cap of 4 years in prison. I've received the pre-sentence report. Has everyone had an opportunity to review that report?
We have, Your Honor.
Are there any additions or corrections?
None aware, Judge.
Judge, obviously, I'm aware of some of his criminal history, others not quite so much. I would think that the 4 would probably be on the low end in your opinion, but I would defer to whatever you think.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Parker, you may proceed.
Your Honor, I mean, I've talked to him and I've heard some stories in my life, but I feel that he's telling the truth, not that it's a defense, but they were getting pulled over. He had some other guys in the car. There was drugs in the car. They took the drugs. He leaves and goes to a house that he used to know the person that lived there. He walks in, gets him something to drink and has a thermos or something like that, and then turns around and she's standing there. He had obviously scared her and didn't know it, and it wasn't the person he knew that lived there. And he said, call the cops, and he walked outside and sat down and waited for the cops to show up. And that's what happened. It's not like he was going in there, to try to injure her. I don't think. He walked in the wrong house, and he did take the thermos or mug, and it's simple as that. I think he'd like to talk to the court, Judge, and we're asking for probation, Judge.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Hughes.
Your Honor, what he said is correct. I can't say anything else. I was doing drugs about a year and a half, but I was like a lightweight. I took the drugs and was not really acting like myself, and I went and knocked on the door and went in there. I was trying to get away from the people I was with, but long story short, after this event, I did sober up. Started going back to church with my mom. I was in for treatment at the Right Step. I tried to get into treatment there. I was doing the paperwork, trying to get help, but I was sober for a couple months out there on the streets, and I'm not really like a typical druggie type. I don't go around and commit crimes or nothing like that.
Your criminal history would say otherwise.
This has been a long time.
I understand, but be careful how you word things, because you've been a criminal since 2002. You've got 4 misdemeanors. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 felonies. Many more that you were arrested for, and obviously doing some things that you kind of got either rejected or dismissed because of pleas on other stuff. So I understand that some of those were a long time ago, but it's still not a pretty picture.
I understand that. Most of my previous crimes and stuff, they were behind addiction and stuff, but life's a journey, and I haven't, I still was battling with addiction, but not committing crimes, this, I know, with the standing here in front of you, charged with a crime, I could understand, how it sounded.
Yeah, I mean, and it's at what point do you go get that help before you commit a crime, I do appreciate what you've done since the offense. Ms. Malfino?
Judge, I would definitely agree that this is an odd fact pattern, very odd. I feel sorry for the situation that he's in with his addiction, but I feel more sorry for the young lady who was scared out of her mind when he was in her house, acting probably like a complete psychotic animal with tinfoil on his head. So I don't know that probation at this juncture would be a viable option, Judge, or a good thing for the community, but I defer to whatever you think is best.
if your history had, one of the things that is sticking out is that every probation you've ever gotten has been revoked. So you've never been successful on probation.
I
And
ended up
so,
completing the last one.
huh?
I did complete the last one.
The last one that I see was the federal
Yes, ma'am.
sentence where your supervised release got revoked.
I did get revocation, but I got back out on probation and completed it.
Okay. At this time, Mr. Hughes, I'm going to find that you entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily. Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time find you guilty of burglary of a habitation. Sentence you to a term of 4 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Corrections. You will receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. I'm going to hand you the trial court certification that shows this was an agreement that I followed, and so you've waived your right to appeal. I have also handed you a written admonishment regarding your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. Because of the judgment entered against you, you're ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. Possession of a firearm or ammunition could lead to charges against you. Firearm is a legal term, and you should read the written admonishment I provide you to see what devices qualify as a firearm. If you have questions about the laws that make you ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, or about how long that lasts, you can talk with Mr. Parker. All right, you can go back with the bailiff. And